School meals? Fresh? You might be surprised. The idea that school cafeterias only serve frozen or prepackaged food is a big one. But that's not the full picture.
Welcome to School Food for Thought, the official podcast of the School Nutrition Association. In this special season, we're diving into the truth behind school meals, looking at some of the biggest myths out there and setting the record straight.
From scratch-cooked meals to farm-to-school programs, schools across the country are doing amazing things with fresh ingredients. And today's guests are leading that charge. Donna Martin, a longtime champion of school nutrition, Chef V, founder of To Taste, and a culinary expert collaborating with school districts on recipes that are both nourishing and doable, and Stephanie Walker-Hines, director of child nutrition from Little Rock District in Arkansas, are joining us today. So let's just imagine what's really cooking in school cafeterias across the country. Thank you for being here and welcome to our podcast.
Thanks for having us.
I'm so excited. There's so much to unpack. So, Stephanie, let me start with you. What is the biggest misconception that you hear about freshness in schools?
The biggest misconception, I believe, is that our food isn't fresh or that it's not the same food that is served in restaurants or at home. We actually have more fresh food, I think, than any other food industry.
Absolutely.
So we offer fresh food every day, at breakfast and at lunch.
And I think that came about in 2010 with the Healthy Hunger Free Kids Act, where we had to double the amount of fruits and vegetables we were serving on the kids' trays. So they're getting twice the amount of fruits and vegetables. So that made us go out and find more fruits and vegetables. We couldn't serve the same stuff we were serving. We had to serve more variety.
Oh, that's great. That's a big change.
And I was just going to add, I know a lot of parents and people in the community really think everything is packaged. Everything is ultra processed, comes out, and we heat it. And they really don't know the variety. They don't know the nutrition behind it. It's amazing to me, even at my children's own school, there's parents like my friends, right? They don't even realize that schools have to offer fruits and vegetables. And not only do they have to, but they want to, and they're serving these great things.
Absolutely.
But people don't know.
Dark green every week. That's a broccoli or spinach or mixed greens. We're serving a red orange, tomatoes, mango, orange, carrots. We hit every color on the rainbow for foods. And I don't think parents realize that.
We're
don't think so.
exposing kids to lentils and things that they would never get at home. And they take that home and then they tell their parents about it. So I had a parent call me one day and say, "What is that green fuzzy fruit that my kid ate today?" I said,
love
"It's
that.
kiwi."
Kiwi.
So, they didn't know
Yeah.
the name of it, but they loved it. And so we're influencing parents too.
Yeah. What's not to love? I mean, one of the things that we've been hearing about, especially in this industry, it's the speed scratch. So, Chefy, this one's for you. Can you describe what speed scratch cooking looks like in the school kitchen?
For sure. So big fan of speed scratch cooking. It's a great way to transition to more scratch. So it's really taking a combination, see if y'all agree, of convenience foods and then pairing it with some of those more whole natural foods. So you're taking advantage of products that are great and exist already, and then maybe combining it with something that's more of just a single ingredient. So even take a pasta dish, right? So we're not going to make our pasta noodles from scratch. If there's someone out there doing that, I'm going to come eat at your school cafeteria. But we're going to take those. We might even take a sauce that's already prepared. I have a great example, actually. A lady came and spoke to me after our session yesterday, and she was taking a marinara sauce and then prepping her own vegetables and blending it and then adding it into a marinara sauce and then combining it with the pasta. So it's a great example of speed scratch. So not everything is scratch. And I think a lot of times people are like, oh, we should do all scratch cooking. If you really think what that means, that would be making all your breads from scratch, all your tortillas, your chips. Restaurants don't even do that. So it's definitely a combination, and finding ways to utilize ingredients that you can use in multiple recipes is very important with speed scratch cooking. I also think a great example is just the USDA diced commodity chicken. right? So it's not seasoned. So you have the power to do so many different things with it, add different
So
seasonings.
can you tell parents what is the commodity chicken?
Yeah. Oh, that's actually a great point to make. It is 100% chicken, pure chicken. All it's been done is diced and cooked. So we just take that and then we are able to add our own spices. And like I said, or put it in a sauce. So you can put it on a flatbread, put it in a sandwich, put it in pasta. So you can do all those different things.
But it's
Yep.
also the exact same diced chicken that you would get in a store. It's
Yes.
only called USDA commodity is because they give us a value of it instead of us having to use our actual money for it. But I'll give you another good example of scratch cooking.
Yeah.
We get our raw ground beef, right? And we'll cook it off and then we'll use that in several recipes. So our tacos, our spaghetti, our beef nachos. That's one of the fan favorites in Arkansas. Kids love a good nacho, but it's made from scratch. So the meat is actually raw and we cook it and then we're able to cook it, freeze it, and then use it across several recipes.
Yeah, it's a great
Saves
example.
time, saves labor.
We also get all these commodities from the U.S. farmers, which is great. So we're supporting farm and local agriculture all over the country. We're now getting fresh fruits from the farmers, which is great. So we love supporting our farmers.
Yeah, that was my question to you, Donna. Like, what role can local farms play in partnerships in bringing fresh produce to schools?
So I reached out to Cooperative Extension and said, could you bring some farmers in to see if they want to grow for me? They started growing black-eyed peas, white-acre peas, collards, turnips, broccoli. I have whole wheat ground flour, strawberries, whole wheat cornmeal. I have blueberries. I have watermelon, anything you can imagine. I told the farmers, if you can grow it, I will take it. And I'll give you a great example. They called me up one day and said, Donna, we have these red new potatoes. Do you want them? And I went, well, we've never served them, but I'll take them. And then we developed this ranched red roasted potatoes with carrots. It's now our children's very favorite recipe, all because the farmer brought me the red potatoes. The other thing is they love that they're not standing on the side of the road trying to hawk 100 watermelons in the heat.
Yeah.
They can bring them to my schools, get rid of them. I pay them on Friday, and they could not be happier. But our teachers love our farm to school. And so they were coming to the back door, meeting the farmers, and I had to stop them. And so we started a farmers market with our farmers so that our parents and teachers could have the same access to the great, healthy local foods that we're serving in the school.
That is amazing. So we tend to see things very siloed.
Right.
This is a school nutrition program. This is it. And when you talk like that, Donna, this is an amazing ripple effect, right? Not only you're feeding the kids the healthiest, the freshest things that are locally grown that they could get their hands on, but you're supporting your local farmers. You're giving the teachers and anybody who was in that community working in the building or elsewhere a chance to, purchase those items that, I don't know, maybe they wouldn't be driving on that road that where their farmer was going to be. So I think we tend to forget how impactful a program like this can be.
Well, our farmers have become celebrities in the community. Our kids know who our farmers are. They're in the schools. And one day we didn't have Pete's collards, and my kids were like rebelling. We're not eating those. Those are not Pete's collards. And they'll at the farmers market, they'll tell Mom, that's Pete. He does our collards. That's so-and-so. They do our peas. And so our farmers feel so good about feeding children. It makes them feel so good. And they also are real supportive and knowing that they're helping the community. We're keeping the money local.
Yes.
And so the school board becomes very supportive of those programs when the farmers are going up to them saying, thank you for allowing us to feed the kids. So as a school nutrition director, you get a lot of support that way.
Oh, that's amazing. And one thing that I've heard sometimes is about pricing, right? Sometimes buying local can be a little more expensive. Stephanie, how do schools budget balance and labor while still offering fresh products?
Well, I think we do. We are very purposeful with our menu planning. We use cycle menus. We make certain that we're going to put, for instance, ground beef on the menu several times. Or if we're going to have our different apples, we're not going to let the apples go bad. We're going to menu the apple at lunch, and then the next week we'll menu at breakfast. Or we're going to make it into a fruit cup, a fresh fruit cup. So we're very intentional with our menu cycles, with our simplicity of our menus, so that we can source something that we can use across the board. And so I think what's really important to realize is we are a lot of times schools are the largest restaurants in the state. We feed more kids a day than, I don't know, 17 McDonald's put together or more. So we are very intentional with how we menu, how we budget, how we procure. When you do your bid before you do your menu, or you do your menu before you do your bid, either way, you're going to get a count, and you're going to know how many times you're planning on serving those items in a cycle menu. And then you're able to get a better price when you group it together, cycle it, and maybe a 4-week or 6-week cycle. Sometimes it's shorter, depending on if it's a holiday month, like December, you may have a week or 2 out. And so you're purposeful and you're intentional so that you make that money stretch.
And I mean, I'm always
All the
amazed
balance.
of your talent as school nutrition professionals, because it's almost like they say that's the little duck that's like, oh my God, it's so peaceful. And then underneath, and it's so complex. I mean, it really takes a level of professionalism to make something so complicated. I mean, Dolly, you're talking about like reaching out to the farmers and whatever.
Yeah.
Now, Stephanie, you're talking about how you make the menus and process and forecast, which is daunting.
Right.
And then Chef E, you were talking about how you making it all delicious. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts every day, and the kids don't get to see.
So I just want to add about why farm to school can be cheaper, because when you get local strawberries that are picked in the field one day and delivered to you the next, they last for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Yeah.
Whereas when you get stuff that is brought to you from a produce vendor, it's been shipped from California or Mexico, and it's been on the road for weeks and weeks. So we find that buying local and buying fresh lasts longer. We don't have near as much spoilage and damage, so it can really save you money buying local.
See, I'm telling you, that's the things that you don't think, those of us who are not in school nutrition don't think about.
I would love to point out too, with local produce like that, the nutrients are higher. So it's actually better for our children as well, because it's taken less time to travel. So it's a better, I mean,
And
it
it
also
tastes better.
Yeah,
It tastes better.
much
and so
better.
we get better
tastes like a
consumption.
strawberry, tastes like a strawberry.
Yes,
not
they
like
get
a
so
watered down.
excited. And then when they go to the grocery store and it doesn't taste as
Yeah.
good, they're like,
Yeah.
I like school lunch.
Yeah.
And it smells different too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Agreed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So speaking of fresh,
Yeah.
what are some of creative ways schools are making fresh food look fun and approachable to kids?
So I think schools have been doing a lot of things. So presentation on the line, so specifically with the fresh fruits and vegetables, makes a difference. So one of my favorite things is like a fresh veggie cup. Take a variety of vegetables. You maybe put a dip at the bottom, whether that's hummus or ranch dressing, depending on your region, and you stick the vegetables inside and really make it really pretty. So it's like standing up. I'm using different packaging and like checkered paper, all these things, because we know everyone eats with their eyes, especially the kiddos. So really marketing it to them and making it look like what they would find like in a restaurant or a cafe. I mean, even like Starbucks, you see the grab and go, they want that same look and appearance. And then also providing nutrition education on the line, whether that's through signage or posters or even having the staff talk to the students as they come through. All of these things really help to educate and expose the children to freshness. I think taste testing as well, or if you have farmers, bringing them in too in the cafeteria. So maybe it's not being menued, but on that day, but maybe the farmer's handing out samples. Or my children's school has a school garden, and we're not to the point where the school garden is servicing the cafeteria yet, but we are at a point where the kids grow, different produce items. One of the ones I can think of right now is carrots, is one of the favorites. And so the kids, they watch the whole process and they grab it and they get to taste it. And of course it tastes better and it's beautiful, everything we talked about, but it's helping to expose them again to that freshness and those flavors. I mean, I think there's endless things.
Yeah.
Schools are doing, gosh, even the announcements. Like I could go on and on video, social media, just teaching the kids, I think, where their food comes from and how it energizes them. Not necessarily so much like it's high in vitamin C. Like they want to hear this gives you energy. You're going to do better in sports. You're going to do better in your testing, all of those things.
And we do a taste test. We invite the kids to come and they tell us what they want. I mean, they're our best customers. Why wouldn't we listen to them?
Yeah.
So we always say if the kids grow it, if they taste it, or if they cook it, they will like it.
Yes.
So we had tower gardens in the classroom, and so they would grow vegetables in the classroom. And when they grew enough vegetables, they would call us, and we have these Charlie cart cooking carts.
Oh, wow.
That we could take around from classroom to classroom, and the kids, we would cook it. And honestly, I'll never forget this middle schooler. We did a Charlie cart cooking class, and we were doing veggie stir fries and stuff. And he said, Mrs. Martin, this has been the best day of my life. just from getting to cook and taste all these things. And there wasn't anything that they cooked out of the Tower Gardens or out of the gardens that they didn't like. We also did a big Feed My School week where we locally sourced 100% of the menu. So we were locally sourcing chicken, pork, hamburger, the whole wheat flour, making our own rolls, making our own home cinnamon rolls. We did not make hamburger buns. That's really
That's too far.
That's a bit too far. But we had this whole week. The kids dressed up like farmers. We put our aquaponic lettuce on the tables as arrangements and stuff. And we had an ag day where they went out and we did corn shucking relays. So they had to shuck the corn, go down, shuck it, run back.
Wow.
And then we did grape stomping where they didn't make wine, that they made grape juice. And so they did grape stomping. And then we had mystery bag where they had to reach their hand in a bag and figure out what vegetable it was and stuff. So they engaged with the farmers. We had goats and chickens and cows and all these things. And they just got so involved in it. They got so excited about the food and they ate it better. The teachers got involved. So just involving everybody. But again, grow it, cook it, taste it, makes them eat the food.
Yeah, engaging all the senses.
Yeah, I have to add on to that because so when I worked for school district, I ran an after school cooking club, and then I do one now at my children's school. And so we take food from the school garden.
Yes. Yeah.
And I show them how to cook it, and they break up into teams and they cook it all. And so it always, you hear a lot, like, oh, the kids won't eat that, or like people are very surprised. No, they grow it. I love what you said. Yes, they grow it and they're cooking it. They'll eat anything. Like we had kohlrabi and they were like scarfing down on this kohlrabi slaw. Like it was the best thing they ever ate. So it's very powerful. And
they want to add all those things to the menu. So they're eating sprouts and zucchini and asparagus and all these things. The stuff that you think they would never, ever eat. And they're going, when are we going to see this on the menu? It makes you get so excited.
Yeah, like hummus is one. I remember like when people thought it was so like kind of weird or rare and like, oh, the kids aren't going to eat this. Like every child I know now eats hummus. I know that again is regional, but like where I live, like hummus is not something unusual.
No, they know exactly what it is.
They know exactly what it is.
And how do kids react to the more colorful and like, I don't want to use the word exotic, but like the kiwis that, it might have not been part of their lives until they came across them?
Unless you taste test it, a lot of times they're hesitant on the line. But if you have a staff that's real engaging and encouraging them, and I always like when I'm standing behind the line, I always comment on the trays and say, Johnny, that is the best looking tray. I'm so proud of you picking up all those fruits and vegetables. The next kid's like, I want her to be proud of me. I'm picking up the fruits and vegetables. So right, exactly. So you want to make sure that your staff is encouraging and engaging them. But, they're not going to taste a new recipe when their spaghetti's on the line or the walking tacos are there, their usual favorites. But if you do a little taste test, and so a lot of times it's like you go to Baskin Robbins and they say you want to taste the ice cream, they give you a spoon. I have cafeterias that will give you a spoonful to taste it. Just to encourage you. I think that's just the greatest idea. They'll give you a little spoonful, you'll taste it, and they go, okay. But the power of other kids saying that that's what they want is peer pressure is huge.
And I think that is the biggest. It's
and the power of other kids. So what I do in my elementary schools, I will actually choose a popular kid. You could just tell from their personality. And then
Influencer, right?
once they're influencer, and then I'll say, hey, just yell how great this mango is. And then he will. And then you'll see all the kids starting to pick up their fruit and eat it. But not only that, they'll come back to the lunch line and ask for more. And so that to me is the most fulfilling part of my job. Seeing them taste those new things, have someone trick them into eating those new things, and then they actually eat them, like them, and then want more.
And want more. Yeah, it is the best feeling in the world. That's got to be reassuring.
That fresh fruit and vegetable grant program that's out there really exposes kids. We did 65 different fruits and vegetables. So like at Halloween, we would do blood oranges.
Right.
Yeah. And the kids are like, blood oranges. But then the grocery stores would call me and they go, Donna, would you please let me know when you're testing new stuff? Because then the parents are coming in and we don't have any blood oranges here. Right. So it really just spreads throughout the community.
But even the pink pineapple, my superintendent said, hey, I heard you had pink pineapples. Why didn't I get one?
Yeah.
I'm like, why didn't you go buy a school lunch?
Right.
Support us.
So awesome that information, like travel, all the way to the superintendent and to families. That's sometimes my reward when I get emails from the parents. Like, what was this? Or like my child came home and taught me all about this new ingredient or recipe, and like we want to replicate it. It is like the best feeling.
So I think a lot of school districts need to do recipe books. I think they could sell a lot of recipe books
yeah.
because a lot of people, it's their favorite recipes. And we had a recipe that another organization put out on their thing, and they said it was the most popular recipe. And all the kids who had been at the school for years and years and years went, oh, I love the Congo chicken. Oh, and they were just like posting on Facebook all this stuff because they thought it brought back great memories. But, you know, the lunch ladies become somebody that they see the kids all the way through school. They
Yeah.
may see them for 6 years or 7 years or whatever. And I think they become just true friends and family and can have such an influence on the kids. So we have a really important role to play. And I really think if you looked at all the people that were valedictorians, the person most often mentioned is the lunch lady.
The lunch lady.
That
Or
they,
lunch dude.
the lunch dude.
And we all remember, so my cafeteria manager when I was a kid followed me from elementary school all the way through high school. Like she kept getting promoted. And I still have fond memories because I was a very shy child, believe it or not. And she would like look out for me. It's like my whole career. I will never forget that and so appreciative. Yeah. You hear so many stories like that.
I'd try and beat that into their head, their role.
I mean, it matters more than they think. Yeah. So before we close this, I wanted to ask each one of you, if there's a parent that is kind of like, oh, is it, what's really going on in the schools? Is it really fresh what my kid's eating? What would you tell them to appease them, to educate them?
Come eat with us.
Yeah.
Come eat any day of the week. There's never a time that I mind visitors coming in because we always have such amazing food out there. Come eat with your child and see what they're doing. And that's what I encourage. Yes.
That's truly the best. I mean, I totally agree. That is the best thing. You invite them into your cafeterias. Come try the food, see for yourselves.
But I also go a step further.
Yeah.
I invite them to come and be a part of my procurement process.
Nice.
The menu planning,
Yeah.
the menu. I explain, and once you explain all of our rules and regulations, you kind of start seeing their eyes glaze over. But they have an opinion, and you want to capture what's important because if it's important to them, it's important to their child, so it's important to us. And so therefore, we try to get their buy-in. Like one of my parents wanted us to do white chicken chili. I had never heard of it.
Me neither.
But I guarantee you, we standardized that.
opinion.
We got verbatim. We do it. We standardized it and we served it.
Yeah.
Now the kids hated it, but that wasn't the point. The point was that we tried to do, and that mom got to see in real time.
Yes.
How kids,
hard it is.
how our customers,
Yeah.
their students, but our customers drive what we do.
Yes.
We don't just serve what we want. We serve what we hope they want.
Because you always say it's not nutrition unless they eat it.
Right.
Absolutely.
And so we've got to, and so like when we do supper, we have to do really popular menus because I said if we put a menu out that most of the kids are not going to eat, then they're not going to learn, and we've defeated the whole purpose. So you've got to have menus that the kids are eating because our whole job is to get those kids ready to learn after breakfast, after lunch, after supper. Give those teachers kids ready to learn.
Yeah.
So-
The parents don't realize we are a business. So we have to make money. So we have to serve and meet the kids where they are. So you might get complaints or whatnot, but it's like, hey, we have to meet our customer where they are and what they want. Because you're right, we can't serve something and then have no one come in, and we're not going to get the money.
And the programs have to be sustainable.
They have to be sustainable.
The food is never free.
Yeah.
Never
Well,
free.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed speaking with you. Thank you, Donna. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Chef Fee. And I hope that the parents and everybody out there has learned as much as I have and gained a lot of appreciation for the work that you do because you are feeding our children and our future. And you're impacting communities elsewhere. I think we forget that. I think we all look at the kids that are in that building, but your impact goes beyond that.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Fresh food's happening and is fueling kids across the country every day. Next up, how schools are navigating dietary needs and making meals work for every student.